The rich girl brought her rented boyfriend to meet her parents. Unexpectedly, just after they got home, the boyfriend complained that the rich family's food tasted bad. The daughter's mother immediately became unhappy because every dish on the table was flown in today at great expense. A single small spoon of caviar alone was worth $2,000. There was even a $5,000 steak and a $100,000 ginseng. But the man said his family ate these every day, and he felt the taste was quite ordinary. The mother thought the man was definitely lying, but the very next second, the man pulled out a cheap plastic bag. Under everyone's astonished gaze, he took out a big jar of caviar, a whole piece of premium beef, and an entire jar of rare ginseng. Everyone was utterly shocked. They had no idea that the man's older sister was actually the nation's richest person. But the sister, in order to cultivate the man's resilience, never told him her real identity. She only sent 2 bodyguards to follow behind him, and the man's encounter with the rich daughter also started from this very day. The man had recently lost his job. That day, he came to this hotel for an interview and was surprised to find that the interviewer was his college classmate, Mary. Mary really admired the man's looks. She directly pulled out a job contract for him to sign. But when the man saw the job description, he hesitated. Mary actually wanted him to pretend to be her boyfriend. It turned out that Mary's parents were forcing her into a marriage of interest, so Mary wanted to find a fake boyfriend to deal with her parents. For this, she was willing to pay the man $1 million. Hearing the salary, the man immediately agreed. Just then, a man burst into the room with many bodyguards. It turned out he was Mary's fiancé. The fiancé questioned Mary about who that man was. Mary very proudly said that the man was her boyfriend. The fiancé was furious. He ordered the bodyguards to catch the man. Mary immediately pulled the man and ran away. They quickly ran out of the hotel. The man jumped on his shabby motorcycle and carried Mary away from the scene. But the fiancé had a flashy sports car. He was confident he could definitely catch up with Mary. But surprisingly, 2 women suddenly blocked his car, causing trouble. These 2 were exactly the bodyguards quietly following the man. At this point, the fiancé completely failed to catch Mary. Meanwhile, the man took Mary back to his home. Mary was shocked to see such a terrible environment. It turned out the man's sister, in order to hide her identity, had purposely opened a junk station. But today, the man discovered that the junk station looked very different. More than a dozen luxury cars were parked at the junk station entrance. His sister was arrogantly sitting on a chair not far away, surrounded by a group of business elites who were humbly presenting her with gifts. All because a financial crisis had recently broken out nationwide, and the business elites wanted to ask for her help. The sister had been arrogantly scolding this group of subordinates, but suddenly she saw the man had returned. The sister immediately stood up in a panic. The man asked in confusion what they were doing. One of the business elites explained to the man that they were here to sell scrap. Mary, on the side, was even more puzzled. She casually picked up a crown to examine it. No matter how she looked, she felt the crown was real and worth at least $1 million. Surprisingly, to prove the crown was fake, the sister actually smashed the crown to pieces with a hammer. Mary then looked toward an antique sculpture nearby. Could this also be fake? Without hesitation, the sister smashed it too. The antique sculpture worth $5 million. Only the business elites felt heartbroken over their money inside. Mary still refused to believe it. The luxury cars parked outside had to be real, but unexpectedly, the business elites hardened their hearts and decisively admitted the cars were also fake. One of them took the hammer from the sister's hand and, holding back his pain, smashed the cars completely. More than a dozen luxury cars instantly turned into piles of scrap metal. Only then did the man and Mary reluctantly believe the sister. The man introduced to his sister that Mary was his girlfriend. The sister immediately wanted to test Mary's character. She instantly turned into an actress pretending to start coughing. Seeing this, Mary anxiously went to check on the sister. The sister sadly told Mary that she was unfortunately suffering from a serious illness. Unexpectedly, Mary immediately took out a bank card with $2 million on it, urging the sister to go to the hospital soon. Just like that, Mary passed the sister's test. At that moment, Mary's parents called her. It turned out they were urging Mary to bring her son-in-law home for dinner. When the sister heard they were going to Mary's parents' house, she immediately gave Mary a huge pile of local specialties, so Mary and the man left, carrying a mountain of things. They arrived at Mary's house entrance. They found that Smith had also tracked them down here. Mary's mother refused to believe her daughter had actually chosen a poor scrap-collecting man as her partner. She didn't want to look at Mary anymore, and only pulled Smith into the house. Mary's father was more gentle and allowed the man to enter the house. When it was time to eat, Smith originally wanted to use this chance to show off. He had specially bought top-tier ingredients to show his strength, but unexpectedly, he was defeated by the local specialties the man casually brought. He was extremely unwilling to accept it. He wanted to give the man a harsh lesson, but just as he was about to make a move, the subordinates sent by the sister arrived in time. At that moment, Smith still didn't know that the man's sister was actually his boss, and his career ended right then and there.